Greetings in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, King Alpha, and I, Divine Mother Empress Menen, Queen Omega, and I, the children of Jah Rastafari, representing for the Ankh Nation family. Yes, once again, give thanks for lending ears, so I can articulate Rastafari. Now, this word sound is the continuation to the previous one about Fba and ADOS and exactly what is their agenda. Now, this is a follow-up and I will continue. So once again, give thanks and be patient with I and I as I and I express. Now, why Fba and ADOS? Now, Fba stands for Foundational Black American. ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slaves. Trying to isolate you from the diaspora, Caribbean, Latin America, and nation Africa. As it is, as it is right now, if you combine, if you combine the 212 white Americans at 65% with the 65.2 million Latinos at 18.7%, you are further behind that 22.7. 227 million equates to about 84.6% to your Black American 46.9 million at 13 to 14%. How democratic votership is going to help you politically beyond tokenism? Remember, currently you are a minority and Asian Americans are not counted thus far. Do not follow Fba and ADOS and isolate yourself from the wider global black family. Ankh Nation, so-called Africa, is 1.5 billion. Latin America, blacks is 133 million. Caribbean is 45 million. If you combine all of us, we are at 1.6 billion. And this is without Fba and ADOS. Now, if you add African American 46.9 million, round that off to 47 million, we are now at 1.7 billion strong. Let that sink in. Again, why Fba and ADOS trying to disconnect us from our global black family? What are the benefits to them? What are the benefits to them? Answer: your continued servitude means these charlatans can jump out of their think tanks and present themselves as your leaders. Their appointed leadership comes with the objective of maintaining the status quo through deception while gaining privileged status by having you believe the system will change. How long has it been? Now, we came here about 500 years ago, and all these charlatans are singing the same song. Just be patient. We have to take things slow. Look how we have overcome. We have made progress. Yes, we have shown we are resilient through workership. Where is the power? You came here as a labor, and a labor you will remain under the guidance of Fba and ADOS. If you follow them and abort Pan-Africanism, you will continue to receive privileged tokenism without power. Yet Fba and ADOS will continue to mislead you. to mislead you into believing there is political power through votership. Or when you are a minority and losing ground rapidly. Latinos already surpass you at a birth rate at 3 to 1. They are projected to be the majority in America by 2045, according to their think tank statistics. Asian Americans are running up fast. Since 1965, Asians' birth rate are at 2 to 1 above whites and 1.5 currently. And you are 1.5 currently. No, memory. No, no, no. Let me recheck. Retrack. Latinos already surpass you at a birth rate of 3 to 1. They are projected to be the majority in America by 2045, according to their think tank statistics. Asian Americans are running up fast. Since 1965, Asian birth rate are 2 to 1 above white at 1.5. Currently, African Americans are at 1.8. Where you think African American birth rate will be in 2045? When you take all issues into account, like poverty, economic oppression, police killing, black on black violence, racial killings, mass incarceration, currently 14% of the population black people, but sentenced to 26% longer than whites. Homosexuality, career professional don't want kids, if not only one, projection not looking good. Now, Donald Trump going hard against immigrants and tariffs, Latino slash Asian make much more sense. Whites are fearful of becoming a minority in America. Now, let me put some clarity upon that. When I said Donald Trump going hard against immigrants and tariffs, is to, I'm going to mention Latino and Asians. It is a strategic ploy for the Latino and Asian community. Make This make much more sense. Whites are fearful of becoming a minority in America. They cannot afford to lose America, a land they established through genocidal acts. This explains the role of ADOS and FBA activism against immigrants. With their tethers narratives, they are protecting their masters' interests masked behind black American political agendas. That is why they target Pan-Africanism and calling immigrant debtors. Classic divide and rule. We saw this played out in the 2024 presidential race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. All the YouTube plans in black skin were busy executing mass plan, neutralizing the Latino population with their anti-immigrant narrative. Caribbean and African people are casualties in their divide and rule expediency for their master while pretending they are defending black American lineage. Look, 2045 is about 15 years away, yet they are strategically taking measures to curtail the Latino population from surpassing them, along with Asian with anti-Chinese sentiments. Yeah, so now currently we see mass deportation efforts are going on under the Donald Trump regime. And like I said, this is a strategic move to curtail the growth of the Latino population. Even though Caribbean people and African people get caught up in it, it's really about curtailing the Latino because that it is now in America, the Latino are the second largest ethnic group. And if they project by 2045, Latina will be the majority. You think white America can sit back and allow this to happen? Knowing the murder, rape, and plunder where them execute to attain white supremacy in America. So this is a part of where FBA I represent right now for white supremacy, protecting white supremacy, and at the same time playing by your emotions and manipulating it behind Black American lineage. Now let me continue. Along with Asians with anti-Chinese sentiments, this is also for future projection for the Chinese them to car. The Asian American are grow rapidly also. And right now, the birth rate is equal or maybe surpass white people. So, like I say, is apply kill two birds with one stone. But right now, the main focus are Latino people. And they utilize these YouTubers to rent space in your head to confuse you, just to continue and maintain the status quo of white supremacy. What this got to do with Rastafari? Simply, Rastafari is a knowledge-based trad. In knowing I and I can identify the root cause to certain issues that divide us. For example, after their so-called emancipation, they played newly arrived black and Latino immigrants against black Americans. And when I say black Americans, we already established African, not African American. African American is different from black American, race, mentally, psychologically. African American embrace and identify with Africa and the wider diaspora, knowing that we are one people. Black Americans is patriotic based to America, and their whole interest is America's interest. And America's interest is ultimately white supremacy, with black Americans playing servitude within the system. Anyway, not how they played newly arrived black Latino immigrants against black Americans. How? Telling the newly arrived immigrants that black Americans are lazy, they don't want to work. Black Americans, black Americans, because of close proximity, they are more astutely inclined to the exploitative games of the oppressor, therefore demanding more value for labor. Caribbean and Latino, because of adverse poverty, are willing to work for way less than black Americans. Caribbean and Latino have to work harder for themselves and family back home, so they are willing to take less and work more. Money don't go back home, families suffer. What black Americans can say no to, immigrants cannot afford to say no. The welfare system that was designed to aid poor whites can be accessible to black Americans. Due to cultural differences, create resentment. Black Americans view immigrants as taking their jobs plus selling out their hard work and sacrifices for less. Immigrants view black Americans as lazy welfare recipients who don't want to work and are privileged, especially when they acting like a Yankee, acting like they are superior to black immigrants, acting white. Yankee can also mean you were born in America. Depends on the context and how it is used. Anyway, this attitude evolved into the FBA and ADOS narrative. This creative rivalry is due to the northern aggressive colonizer pulling the strings from behind the scenes like a puppet master, utilizing their think tank agents provocateur like FBA and ADOS to manipulate their emotions, causing division. Rastafari Rastafari have to always be aware of their of their divided and root strategy. Once you possess knowledge, you will know how to fix. The solution to this divisive mindset is knowledge. Caribbean and Black Americans are integral in the building of what is known as America today, literally through blood and hard work. Slave barons like the whole family of Rhode Island and Samuel Beckford of the Caribbean shipped slaves to and from the Caribbean and America, which make us blood relatives through interbreeding, separated by land and that divisive mindset. Guys like Henry Morgan, infamous privateer slash pirate, sailing the seas protecting British colonial interests, slavery, tobacco, sugarcane, rum, and cotton. I is presenting these facts to bridge the gap, giving deeper insight into our unique oneness. What is a think tank? It is a research organization that conducts studies and advocacy on social policies, political strategy, economic and military affairs. Where where is I think tank? This is the level His Imperial Master Emperor Haile Selassie is talking about when he instructs I to organize and centralize, which organize and centralize means governance. Now, in governance, to govern, one need land. Where's our land today? We are steady, excelling, because as I presented earlier, we have played integral role in every aspect of America, diaspora, and even in Europe too. We have constantly present ourselves as servants. When are we going to decide to build I own system? And this is how I see Rastafari as the gathering, edifying the mindset so you know knowledge yourself and know say as far back as you can as I can walk through history since the diabolical enterprise. I as a people has always contributed in every aspect without power. And this have to stop. Because anytime them get up and them feel like they can do whatever they feel like. And this is why I block the zone right now and I counter the narrative of FBA because they are divisive. And it's full time I recognize the oneness from the diaspora to the continent. And the diaspora for me is Caribbean, Latin America, and America. So I have to come in at the oneness and recognize our power in oneness and know say we can't afford for all the work or the greats them have already laid. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, even Harriet Tubman and all the other abolitionists will fight to maintain I. For I can at least have a semblance, a survival in the diaspora. It's all about unification. They survive so I can carry the work. I can't afford to be stagnated by divisive mindset like ADOS and FBA. They are counterproductive to black liberation. And this is why I go in at the route and go as far as I can go into American history. You find Caribbean people and people like ADOS and them, and if you check them bloodline too, you find Caribbean in them. Because we are one people. We are one people with labels that they gave us. And this is why I forward in and I continue to highlight and declare Rastafari as I identity. I won. And declare so that they never gave it to I. And this is why I must full time now I start rally around Rastafari, embrace it and build it. And we have to be strategic. I see me mention again, show you where's I think tank. Rastafari is I think tank. I is the only one we are point out. And I fight and I resist continuously for the survival of I people. But I need institutions. And I have to start work towards institution. Yes, we are not where we want to be, but at the same time we can pool our resources together. And this is what Marcus Garvey exemplifies. Even though black skin traitors betray him, like FBA, they are traitors to the greater struggle of black liberation. And Rastafari come to unify and gather all of I under one umbrella, from the diaspora to the continent. Yeah, a unify, oneness, one accord, and this is Rastafari. So when I come on this space here, and I articulate Rastafari and I show the viability of Rastafari, this is what I is talking about. I don't need no divisive mindset. We have to know who we are. And how you know you have knowledge of self. And this is what Rastafari bring to the table. Rastafari give you identity. You don't have to guess and spell who you are anymore. You know that you are an African in the diaspora. And your identity is Rastafari. Because why? I is not deluded, you know. The problem, the same divisive mindset there in the continent too. And they see it white supremacy, white domination, they in the continent too. And we have the black skin traitors them in the continent too. And just like how I highlight the cultural differences between Black American and Caribbean people, or Latin America for that matter. It they in the continent same way too. So I have to come with a one mindset under the banner of Rastafari and set up institutions and structure in myself. So when I decide, anything when I decide upon I can accomplish it. So me I come from we can't accomplish divided. We have to be one accord. The great Honorable Marcus tell you, one God, one aim, one destiny, Rastafari. We have a God already. We know who we are. All we have to do now organize and centralize like the king dictator and I to be. And pool and I resources. But first, we have to have the one mindset. And we have to beware of black skin traitors. Because they are the first to try to derail. I observation and history already show I these things. This is why Marcus failed. This is why Malcolm X in him grave. This is why Martin Luther King in him grave too. Black skin traitors that betray the cause, and we have to be cognizant of that. And we have to prepare ourselves in our knowledge. And know and prepare yourself. Before you can get to the white oppressor, you have to deal with the black skin traitors. And how you deal with them, you have to know knowledge. Right now, as it is, we are not in no position, weapons. And the truth be told, so, right as it is right now, if anyone take 2020 into consideration, you have to recognize now, so, weapons, guns, and these things are obsolete. A biological germ warfare them there right now. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to protect ourselves? We have to use up knowledge of self, and be strategic and execute like how His Majesty execute. That's why Ethiopia is still free today. I don't know how long it's gonna last. But I know so for right now the king maintains it is free. Because he was strategic. Never have no weapon either. But what him do? He make chess moves and utilize white man to go against white man to protect him legacy. Despite that, what the naysayers want to say and the propagandists want to belittle and make I don't want to extol the king. That will never be. His Majesty's I wealth and shower, the pedestal, the apex. I extol the king because the king is worthy for I extol. And this is Rastafari. I have to make I say worthy. All of I in the diaspora can see Rastafari for what it is. And come under the umbrella of Rastafari, organize and centralize. And that's how it there. And this is why I dip on this way to articulate and show the viability of Rastafari. Because it is viable. It is I own. They never gave it to us. And a full-time we build it. Yes, we have our issues. But we have overcome way worse than the little petty differences what we have right now amongst ourselves. And the reason why the petty differences there amongst us are through lack of knowledge, knowledge of self, knowledge of who you are. And this is what Rastafari bring and I give to you. And this is why I come on the space here. When I think I can come on this and depend on entertainment thing. But on entertainment I depend. Rastafari is a knowledge-based strat, practical reality. We don't depend on spookism like I said before. It's a practical reality. And historical observation, you're sure I have to be analytical and strategic and see the things that are a hindrance to I. And right now, the biggest hindrance to I are black skin traitors. You have to can identify them, and once you can identify them, that's what I tell you, so important knowledge. Once you can identify them, then you can not use knowledge to fix and go around them and keep them out of your midst. Because there are many different ways to skin a cat. Many different ways. But you can't execute without knowledge. And it's full time now. I have to stop these people from emotionally manipulate our emotion to get us to do what they want us to do by utilizing black skin like FBA and ADOS, because that's what they are. And the same clientele pro, them represent the same clientele pro. We destroy Marcus. We destroy the Panthers. We destroy Marcus. We destroy Martin Luther King. It's the same thing. It not change. They just get more sophisticated and more advanced while we sitting here being stagnant. A time for we wake up now and rise up. Liberation time. But you have to liberate the mind and revolute the mind first, so you know exactly what you're about. And this is what Rastafari is, and this is what Rastafari should be about. You see where I come from? So this is why I come and present and counteract the narrative of FBA by going to the root. And when they know your story, people like FBA and ADOS and them can't trick you. You have to know your story. And this is why Rastafari is important. We don't have no structure or no institution right now where we can say we think tank or universities. But we can do it by organize and centralize and pool our resources. But we have to have knowledge. With knowledge come all things. We have to have knowledge, and so when we have knowledge, we know how to execute. And like I said previously again, I'm going to declare again, we don't want a Messiah. Because historical observation already shows when you have a Messiah, it's easy to eliminate the Messiah. But when everyone are thinking of oneness, example, I'm going to show you what I mean in oneness right now. Example, the Palestinian them. The Israeli them have more weapons than them. And them are murder them and they create genocide upon them. But the people them still are fight. You know why them are fight? Because them have one mindset. And if we reverse then go up on the Israeli side, you know why the Israeli them operate how them operate? Because them have one mindset. They know what them want and they know who they are. We are the only set of people busy want to be everything else and live and delude ourselves into all kind of crap. Like this FBA narrative here right now, ADOS narrative, and the Hebrew Israelites, them and yeah, Moors and all kind of crap. Confusion, can't tell pro, divide and rule. We are one people, and a full time now I come into this knowledge. And this time I present Rastafari as the vehicle. We're going to take I out of this mess here where we're in right now. But it has to start with knowledge, revolute your mind. Knowledge yourself. So I have to seal it on that, and make you know, say, yo, Jah Rastafari without apology, sealer, one God, one aim, one destiny. This is Rastafari.